number 17.
We already did that.
We did 17?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 19. Okay, so the smallest number there is 30, and the reason I say that is because,
All the other numbers are very large.
yeah, you want to check, you need something that goes into all three numbers, and if you use the smallest, it'll have the smallest number of possibilities. So what's the biggest thing that goes into 30 is 30. Does 30 go into 288 or 384? No. What's the next biggest thing that goes into 30?
15.
15. So 30 is 1 times 30. 30 didn't work. 2 times 15. Does 15 work? No. 3 times 10. Does 10 work?
No.
5 times 6. Does 6 work?
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm gonna say yes and hope.
Yeah, okay. Yes, it does work.
Boom.
So, and if 6 didn't work, then we try 5, then we try 3, then we try 2. Taking 1 out is like doing nothing, so that doesn't count. Just go from the biggest to the smallest. Okay, so we're taking a 6 out on number 19. Actually, if the first term is negative, you kind of want to get rid of that negative, so I'm going to take a negative 6 out.
Oh, it's negative.
So we didn't have any of these yesterday, but it's easier if the first term is not negative. So I'm going to not just take a 6 out, but I'm going to take a negative 6 out. You guys remember doing this yesterday? So basically all these terms are going to be divided by negative 6. So the first term becomes 5n squared. 288 divided by 6 is 48, but it's going to be a negative 48 now. N. 384 divided by 6 is 60. Positive 64. Whoops. Okay. So after, you guys remember doing this yesterday, after we took something out, the 3 term factored again. What did we put in front yesterday? What goes into 5? 5 times 1. So it's 5n times 1n. Or 5n times n.
Yes.
For the back, it's what goes into 64. What's the first thing you think of that goes in 64?
8.
8 times 8, right? So really though, we had to kind of use trial and error here. How do I check and see if 8 and 8 is correct? If you do the outside inside of the FOIL, it should give you the middle term.
Oh, I see.
Well, I already know it's going to fail. Do you guys know how I know it's going to fail? It's a negative 48, so I should have used negative 8 times negative 8. Then that has a chance. Okay, what's the outside? Negative 40. What's the inside?
Negative 8.
What's negative 40 minus 8? Negative 48.
What?
So we got it on the first try.
That's crazy.
There's actually a lot of things that go into 64. So that could have been ugly.
Mathematics is super.
21. Okay, on 21, the biggest thing that could go into 20 is 20. But does 20 go into 195? No. The next biggest thing goes in 20 is 10. Does 10 go into 195? No. 5. Yeah, if it ends in 0 and 5, 5 can go into everything. So I'm going to take a 5 out. If I divide all those terms by 5, I'm left with Did I divide that correctly?
Did you?
39, maybe.
I think it's 38, isn't it? Or
No, it's 39.
39.
39 plus 56.
I'm at 56?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
What do you do, 2x, 2x?
Okay, it could be 2x and 2x, but it also could be what? 4x and 1x. So we gotta guess. What do you guys want to guess? Since Gracie said 2x and 2x, let's try that.
Okay.
Because we always do what Gracie says.
That will mean failure.
Okay, what's the first thing you think of that goes into 56? 7 times 8. If you remember your times tables, that's what you think of. So let's see if 7 and 8 are magic. Now on this one's a little bit different because the outside and inside, I mean both of these start with the 2x, so switching the 7 and the 8 don't matter on this one. Let's see if this works. 7 times 2 and 8 times 2, 14 and 16 make 30, not 39. So what else? Not actually. Well, okay. What else goes into 56? I'm thinking it might not be 2 times 2 in front. But you guys know something else that goes into 56? Well, if 8 goes into 56, that means 4 could go into 56. 56 divided by 4, I believe, is 14. So let's try 4 and 14. Doesn't look like it's going to work. Okay, so that would be 28x plus 8x, which is 36x. It's closer, but it's not right. Okay, it could be 2 and 28, but that's not going to work either. Let's try in the front instead of 2x and 2x. Let's try 4x times x. Okay, a lot of times they use the numbers from the times tables like 7 and 8. So that's why I kind of suspected we need to go back to 7 and 8. Okay, now what's the outside? 32. What's the inside? 7. What's 32 plus 7? 39. Right. So if you don't guess right at the beginning, it makes for a lot of extra work.
You try and fail, just
We still got it right, Gracie. You did not ruin this. Okay, on 23, 12 is the smallest number. Does 12 go into 38 or 16? No. What's the next biggest thing that goes into 12? 6. Does 6 go into 16? No. What's the next biggest thing that goes into 12? 4. Does 4 go into 16? Does 4 go into 38? No. Fail again. Okay, what's the next biggest thing that goes into 12? 3. Does 3 go into 16? No. Next, 2.
Yes.
They're all even, so 2 does have to go into all of them. So we're going to divide all of them. Going to take a 2 out. And get that.
Yes.
Okay,
You know that you're good.
8. This is worse than the last one because 8 has 3 pairs of factors. Actually, I lied. There's only 2 pairs. 1 and 8, 2 and 4. I was thinking 2 and 4 and 4 and 2. That doesn't matter. So we need to guess, well, you want to do 1 and 8 or 2 and 4? Okay, Canyon said 1 and 8 first, so we'll try 1 and 8. Okay, what goes into 6? 2 and 3. I think Canyon was working ahead on this one.
I can neither confirm nor deny the accuracy of this statement. Oh my goodness.
Canyon, how dare you?
I'm sorry.
Okay, the outside is 3m. the inside is 16m, and together they make bum, bum, ba, 19. That was very dramatic.
That made sense.
That was very beautiful.
There's a lot of drama in math class. We're almost to the new kinds. Almost. Okay, the smallest number is 12. Does 12 go into 111? Do you guys know what does go into 111?
3.
Yeah. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And 3 goes into 3, so 3 goes into 111.
Whoa.
So I am thinking it's probably 3. And there's a way, so let's go ahead and take a 3 out and then we'll check and see if it's right or not. So if I divide all these by 3, I get 4k squared. What's 111 divided by 3? 37, yeah, there we go. Plus 27 divided by 3 is 9. Okay, if 3 was not the best number to take out, not the biggest number, something would still be in all 3 of these that we could take out. Does that make sense? Like, let's say all of these a 2 came out of, then I could still take the 2 out and put it with the 3 and make this a 6. Okay, if this was like let's say this is a 38 instead of a 37, that means I could have taken another 2 out. And when you take the 2 out, it joins the 3 and becomes a 6. And you divide all these by 2. Basically, it means we could have taken a 6 out from the beginning, but we didn't recognize it. Alright, but 37 is prime, so that means nothing comes out of all 3 of these. So 3 was the right thing. Okay. Somebody who's not Canyon. What should we put in front? 4k times 1k or 2k times 2k? We're guessing.
4K. 4 and 1.
They're doing a lot of something in ones. What goes into 9?
3.
3 and 3. So, since I wanted to add up to a negative, let's try -3 and -3. So the outside now is minus 12k, and the inside is minus 3k. That makes minus 15k, which is not right. What else goes into 9 besides 3 and 3?
9 and 1.
9 and 1.
Wrong way.
Okay, yeah, that's the wrong way. The outside is minus 4k, the inside is minus 9k.
That was rude.
That makes minus 13k.
But
Okay, yeah, we should have actually done 1 and 9. That was the right guess. So now the outside is minus 36. Getting close. The inside is minus 1. Finally found it. We persevered. Okay, 27 is new. These are kind of like the problems.
Oh, what?
What is different about 27?
There's a third.
4 terms. Okay, 4 terms. This last method that we're learning, not as important as the first 3, but still once you know it, is called grouping. Okay, the reason it's called grouping is because what we do basically is group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. Okay, by the way, just because there are 4 terms doesn't mean grouping is going to work. This works on these if it's special. If it's a special problem, it's going to work. Okay, so I put parentheses around the first 2. You don't really have to do this, But basically, it's like take stuff out on the first two and take stuff out on the last two. Okay, what can we take out of the first two terms? A squared. They both have at least an a squared. Nothing comes out of 7 and 2, but we can take an a squared out of both of those. In parentheses, we're going to put what's left.
7a plus 2.
7a plus 2. After we divide both of those by a squared. Plus, what comes out of the last two? What comes out? What goes into 42 and 12? 6. Can I take any a's out? No, because this one doesn't have any. So if I divide both of these by 6, 7a plus 2. Okay, notice my parentheses are identical. Grouping only works if this happens, if your parentheses are identical. So it's kind of a special case, but yeah, the book's going to give you problems where it'll work. Okay, this is not the final answer. The final answer, we're almost done though. The final answer, you put the outside stuff in one set of parentheses, a squared plus 6, and you put the inside stuff in the other set of parentheses. I put the outside stuff in one set of parentheses, a squared plus 6, outside the parentheses. And I put the parentheses stuff in the other parentheses.
Is this the same with the b squared?
Huh? The outside stuff in one parentheses.
Yeah, but because they're both the same with b squared, they're just
Huh?
since both sides are the same, can you just put it one like squared? The 7a
Oh, no. Well, these are not being multiplied together.
Oh.
It's not this times this. So it works because basically this is a squared times both of these, right? And this is 6 times both of these. And when you FOIL, that's basically what you do. You do a squared times both of these and 6 times both of these.
Okay.
So it just works. You don't have to understand why it works, just kind of follow the pattern. All right, since there's not very many problems left, I think I'll do like 28 and 30 with you guys because the minuses are a little bit trickier, and then I'll leave you guys to do 29. I might forget that when we grade this tomorrow, but that's the goal.
You don't do the rest?
I'm gonna, no, you do the whole page. We're doing the whole page, but I'm gonna do 28 and 29 with you, and then I'll leave, I'm gonna do 28 and 30 with you, and I'll leave you guys to do 29. When there's a minus in the middle, it makes the problem slightly trickier, so I'm gonna do 28 and 30 with you guys. Okay, on 28, the first two terms, what comes out of both of those first two terms?
5p squared.
5p squared. Are you guys looking where you got that from? They both, 10 and 5 can go into both of them, and they both have at least a p squared. What is left after I divide the first two terms by 5p squared? What's 5p cubed divided by 5p squared? Right, well, whoops, I screwed that up. 5p, or no, sorry, the 5's go away, just p. The second term is 10p squared. What is 10p squared take out the 5p squared?
2.
Right, 10 divided by 5 is 2, and the p squared is go away. So in the parentheses, all we have is p plus 2. Okay. If the third term is negative, and it is, you're going to want to take out a negative, or else it'll be really confusing. So you guys see how the minus 7p, that's a negative term, so we're not just going to take out a 7 here, you actually want to take out a negative 7. if I take out a -7, what's left here? What's -7p divided by -7? Positive p. What's -14 divided by -7? +2. So notice the parentheses match. If the parentheses match on this assignment, you did something wrong. If they don't match, I should say.
Of course.
Alright, you guys remember how I finished it last time? Whoops. Yeah, the outside stuff go in one parentheses, 5p squared minus 7. And the inside stuff goes in the other parentheses. Okay, I'm skipping 29, I'm gonna leave it for you guys, so this is actually 30. I guess I'll write it down. Okay, what comes out of the first two, what goes into 16 and 6?
3.
No,
2.
just 2.
Shoot, what?
Yeah, 3 doesn't go into 16, goes into 15 and 18. Okay, so I'm gonna take a 2. How many a's can I take out of these two? 2. So I'm gonna take out 2a squared. And then what's left if I divide by 2a squared? Maybe I should lower this. Divide by 2a squared, divide by 2a squared. On this one, there's one a left on top. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So we have 8a from the first term. From the second term, a squared's crossed out with 6 divided by 2 is a -3. Okay, what comes out of these last two?
-1.
Okay, nothing comes out, but you can always take out at least a 1. And since this term is negative, we're going to take out the -1. What's this divided by -1?
8.
Positive 8a. What's this divided by -1? -3. And now our parentheses match. They match because they made sure that they matched. All right, so we got 16 minutes, loads of time.